Dr. Jung himself actually said that I don't know if I'm permitted to tell these secrets. Okay, and I think the fundamental secret is that, you know, God is within us. God is not something that's projected out there, but it's been sold in religion for 2,000 years as something that's projected. And so now everybody's having trouble. Not everybody, because nobody knows about this yet. We're just scratching the surface. But the idea is we need everybody to withdraw their projections, right? Because, my gosh, if we just stopped killing one another for our religions, if we just stopped killing one another, then maybe we could learn something from one another. You know, because maybe the Muslims actually learned something that we don't know. For example, what could be bad about praying 5 times a day? Right? Praying is, as Dr. Jung puts it, praying is a petition to your unconscious. So it's a kind of meditation, right? And nearly every religion has some kind of prayer or meditation. So what could be wrong about praying 5 times a day? Seems like a good idea to me. But
all the efficiency experts in the world are all cringing.
Yeah, well, there is that, because when you travel in the Middle East and work in the Middle East, very often, you know, you're in the middle of the day and all of a sudden everybody says, "Oh, it's time for prayer, we gotta go."
Sounds good.
And
my dad said the call to prayer all day long.
Well, because different mosques are on different clocks, right? But invariably, when I arrive in Hyderabad, I'll be coming out of the baggage claim, and there will be a call to prayer. There's a mosque right next to the airport, or what used to be in the old airport, and invariably there would be a call to prayer just as I was coming out. They are supposed to go to the mosque and do their prayer, or find a quiet place where they can do their prayer. Well, it's not a very long prayer, maybe 10 minutes, but you know, working up to it, finding a place to pray, and you know, especially for women, because women aren't supposed to pray with men.
See, in the Army, they'd say, smoke them if you got them. And if you didn't have them and you didn't smoke, they'd say, hey, come over here and do this thing over here. So everybody was smoking.
Maybe our world would go by a little more slowly if we were prepared to do that. Okay.
Well, the first thing you got to realize is there are no collective solutions. There's only individual solutions.
Yeah.
You have to work from the individual. You can't gather everyone together and make a team and say, okay, now we're going to solve our problem.
But it's a time of reflection, right?
Yeah.
And one problem with it is that it has a collective feature to it, which is everybody wants to pray and bow down at the same time, and so you get this group think going, and you know, okay, there's a collective unconscious, and that's it manifesting, but all I'm saying is some aspects of Islam would be good for us to all consider. Oh, maybe it's not 5 times a day, but you know, if you think about it, you know, it wouldn't be bad to just take a breath, you know, 3 times a day. Yeah.
I can see your range.
Absolutely, and just make this your personal time, and that's what most of them do. Okay. Now, in some cases where people have a mosque available, or they have a group of other men that they pray with, I haven't seen the women, obviously, because they do it privately. then it has a collective aspect of it. But most of the guys that I've seen who are executives, they just go off in a private room and pray themselves by themselves. And, they just say, if we're in a conference room or something, they'll say, well, excuse me, I have to go pray, and then they'll go back in their office or something, and they'll spread their prayer rug and do their prayer, and it doesn't take long. It's not a bad thing to do. And if we all took a breath that way, wow, would the world change? Maybe. No? You're doubtful.
We all have to individuate, whatever it takes.
We all have to individuate what?
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, yes.
I just don't see group activities, but I'm not an extrovert.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying a group activity necessarily. I'm saying prayer is a time of reflection. Right? And I suppose a lot of people project it out on a God that's out there or is in the direction of Mecca, right?
Well, but that's not individuation. That's feeding the illusion.
Feeding the illusion. Yeah, I mean, if you're on any Middle Eastern airline flying anywhere, actually, if you're on any Muslim airline, they tell you when it's time to pray, and they. Well,
do they aim the plane to the west?
No, but they don't. But
we'll be flying sideways for a while.
No, they don't do that. But what they do is put up on the screen and tell you in what direction Mecca is. And yes, and there's actually an area in the back of the plane where you can go and put, put your prayer rug down and do your prayer if you want to. So no matter where you are in the world, no matter what the orientation of the plane, say it's behind us to the left or it's in front of us at the 10 o'clock position or whatever, and then you can pray in that direction. So it's quite spectacular. Do you know what's in the center of Mecca? I mean, what is it that people are praying to 5 times a day in that direction? Do you know?
I read a book about the biography of Richard Francis Burke. Mm-hmm. He actually got inside of it. He wrote what the people would go through it. But I don't remember what was in it.
It's a well.
A well.
It's a well. And it's a well that was given by God to Abraham's slave by whom she had Ishmael. Okay, remember, call me Ishmael. Well, this is her name is Hagar. Okay, it's a well that was given by God to Hagar. She somehow, I guess it was Sarah in the Bible was Abraham's real wife, and Hagar was a slave, and Hagar had a baby by Abraham, whose name was Ishmael. And so at some point in the Bible, and I'm not too detailed about this, but at some point in the Bible, Sarah got rid of Hagar. Pardon? Yeah, Sarah didn't like the competition for Isaac and whoever else was sons of Abraham. I bet there were a lot. and so Hagar struck out on her own from Israel and ended up in the middle of the Saudi desert. And so when they have the Hajj reflects Hagar's trip. Pardon? That's the pilgrimage, and you have to I mean, one of the things about the pilgrimage is you have to run up and down a certain place 7 times, and by tradition, Hagar did that, and then miraculously, God gave Hagar this well, and it's had water in it ever since. And so when you travel in the Middle East at Hajj time, oh my gosh, you see people with 5-gallon plastic jerry cans that they filled with water from that well, and they take it back to their own country. And so I've
Bottle it and sell it on
yeah, they do
Amazon.
something like that. I mean, it's very important religiously to them, and they may keep it for the rest of their lives and dish it out in thimblefuls or something. I don't know exactly what they do with it, but literally, you get off the airplane if you're flying into India from the Middle East, and oh my God, half the baggage is these cans of water. Or it's not cans, it's plastic.
Big an ocean under there.
Yeah, plastic jerry cans. But everybody wants to take back water from that well, and it's actually an impressive story, and obviously it's impressive enough to make people want to make the pilgrimage from every Muslim country in the world. Yeah.
But they do that at Lourdes too, don't they?
Sure, they do it at Lourdes and various other places where people make pilgrimages. But, pardon? Berkeley Springs.
It's actually a pretty amazing place with the water that comes out like that. People go up with their hands.
To Berkeley Springs, they did. Why?
George Washington.
Oh, I see.
Where's Berkeley Springs?
West Virginia?
Yeah, West Virginia, just across the Maryland border.
Yeah.
If you're here on the 7th, past Harper's Ferry.